Hey, everybody, it is time to start talking about forecasting for next year. So, we're just going to do some review over transcripts and things to make sure everyone's ready to go and knows what to do to think about how to select courses for next year. So, first off, you're going to get your transcript today. When you get that, just want to remind you that you need 26 credits for graduation. We'll go over those credits in just a minute. Reminder that all your grades on your transcript, unlike progress reports, are final. So, once they're on there, there is no changing them. And then GPA, just a reminder, grade point average has implications for things like Oregon Promise. If you want to go to a 2-year college after high school, that can make your tuition very low cost. It can have implications for car insurance, reducing your rate for that, scholarships and apprenticeships, and potentially even job applications. So, grade point average does matter. People are looking at it. Reminders of places that is relevant for you down the road. So, when you get your transcript, the boxes at the end of your transcript will look different depending on your grade level. So, ninth graders, you're going to be referred to as rising 10th graders moving on because we're looking to plan for next year. And same thing moving forward. So, rising 11th and rising 12th. So, first we'll start off with the rising 10th. The credit requirements are the same for everybody. There's just a view of what your grade level would look like. So, for everybody, applied arts, there's two required credits. This is involves business, art, music, technology, all those areas outside of core content areas. So most of our elective classes will fit in there, a great deal of them. And then you'll take senior seminar, which fills this career ed personal finance half credit your senior year. Everybody needs 7.5 credits of electives notated here. A full credit of health, which you take as a sophomore and as a junior. So health 1 and health 2, those are automatically placed in your schedule. And then freshman and sophomore year, you take English 1. And then sophomore year, you can choose between advanced, if that's your skill level, or regular English 2. And then junior and senior, you move beyond in some elective language arts classes. You get to choose which ones you want. Math, you need 3 credits of Algebra 1 and above, with a note that a lot of if you're heading into universities and some trades, they want to see more than that. But a minimum requirement is 3 credits, Algebra 1 and above. PE, you need 2 classes before you graduate. Generally, students are taking freshman PE and then an additional course. You can take more than is required, but the minimum is 2 PE classes. Science, you need 3 credits. Many of you get more than that, but that's the minimum requirement for your diploma is 3 credits. You'll take rising 10th graders, you'll take integrated science next year as well. If you want to take additional, you can. And then social studies, social studies 1 your freshman year, social studies 2 your sophomore year, and generally students will take social studies 3 as a senior, unless you choose to take advanced placement U.S. history, which is offered right now. So those of you that take that, you have to wait 1 more year because it's offered alternate years. It does replace social studies 3 for those of you that are interested in that course. You can look at that in the handbook as well. And last category is technology. You need 2 classes of technology before you graduate. Again, a minimum. Many of you get more than that. Those of you, almost every student takes GATES as a freshman. That takes up half credit there, and then an additional half credit before you graduate. Again, you can go above and beyond that. So it shows you here, each column is going to show what's required, what you individually have completed, what your work in progress, that means the next 2 trimesters. So what you're taking right now, what you're taking next trimester, and then what is needed before you graduate. So that shows you what's left, so what you should be planning for. So for example, credit of language arts for this rising 11th grader, 1 more science class minimum, and then that social studies 3. So it kind of shows you what's left in the far right column. Rising senior, this is what yours might look like. There might be fewer credits left for you to complete in terms of requirements. But just a reminder, our school board policy, it's in the handbook, does require that you take a minimum of 4 classes. It is also an OSAA athletic and activity eligibility requirement to have a minimum of 4 classes. So just a reminder for that. And then it does give you some flexibility when you're selecting electives. It helps you rule out and narrow down career and college interests. So please use those electives. We'll get into that a little bit more, but making sure you're thinking about what can be dual credit for those college credit offerings or in your career pathways. So what we want you to do overall, be thinking about is as you're selecting those, both your core classes and your electives, you're making sure that you're working toward the goal that you have. You might have an idea of what you might want to do down the road after high school or things you want to try out. Think about those goals. Think about what your skill level is. You want to challenge yourself and make sure that it's the right level that you're capable of completing with success. Talk to teachers about that. They'll be a good gauge for what your skill, what you've done so far, and what you are currently doing, and then making sure that you're bringing in those plans for after you leave high school, because it really is important. Use this opportunity now, take some classes that can enrich your potential opportunities after high school. So right now, our handbook is going to be online. You'll get a link in your email. It should be in there already. But lots of information, each course has its own description. We really encourage you to take a really close look at that. Read that. People are going to give you their version of taking classes. They change each year. It does. Who teaches classes changes. It's really important to know what the content of the class is. And those of you that are really looking at whether it's an honors class or whether or not it has college credit, all that information is in the handbook. It's a really important piece of information. So make sure you're using it, please. And then also, your transcript is confidential, so please don't don't feel like you need to share that with other people. And it really is just for your needs and your educational purposes. So there's no reason to be sharing that information with other people or feel pressure to do that. It is solely yours. And then your forecasting sheet will guide you through picking your classes, and really important that you pay attention to the ranking, what's most important for you. As you're looking through things today, we're just starting to talk about transcripts and career pathways. So please use pencils as you're getting started and keep everything together, okay? All right. So again, you're going to go through the handbook, reading the descriptions, just looking through what's available. You're going to have 2 weeks to do this. So this is just a start today. You're going to want to talk to your current teachers. If you need sign-offs for multiple courses, those advanced level, that's going to hit you in language arts and math and science. Making sure that you're looking at doesn't need to sign off and asking for feedback from teachers. You can do that before and after class, excuse me, and before and after school. And then if you have a case manager, make sure you're talking with them as well, because you're going to talk about whether or not you need support classes or not. So make sure that's something that you're looking through. And then talking with your family at home. They do need to sign off on ultimately off of your forecasting sheet. And their feedback's important. So make sure that you're talking with your family about your planning and what your time's going to look like. And then we'll have one more planning day next week during C3. And you'll have all of your materials and all of the instructions and be able to turn those in the following week. So we're just kicking off today. Okay, so looking at career pathways, these are the following categories of pathways: arts and communication, business, health occupations, engineering, information technology, and natural resources. These don't cover all the potential career areas, and we know that, but it is a way to help guide some of your potential areas of study and or work. So in these pathways, you'll be looking through the major areas, which are bolded. You want to get 2 credits in that top category, and then below in each category, excuse me, are the electives, and you want to get 4 full credits in that area. So this just can help you pick relevant coursework in a content area. If you have more than 2 credits in the above category, that's fine. Those are going to be more of the intensive career-specific classes, and so you want to get a total of 6 credits. It is possible to get more than one pathway, but it's not common just because of the number of credits that you take during a school day. And so most times students will come and say, I'm going to get 2, but they're counting their courses twice. So you just use them once per category. And so it has happened a couple of times. It's pretty rare to get more than one pathway, but really a chance for you to narrow down an interest area and get some exposure while courses are at no or low cost to you versus when you're out of high school, when you do have to pay for training in education. All right, so this tool helps you look beyond your core classes. What are elective classes that are relevant to what you want to do? And it's just a reminder, it's okay to extend beyond the requirements that you do need, whether that's an elective area we talked about earlier with technology, math, or science, for example. That's okay. You can take more than what you need, but it makes it relevant for what you might want to do after high school. And keep in mind, there's going to be prerequisites that you may be aware of and may not, but know things like trades might want to see specific elective courses that you get credit for as you're applying to an apprenticeship. Those things are important to know now, because if you wait until you're an adult, you have to pay for those things, and they're here and available for you during the school day. So they are important to try to get in on your transcript for later opportunities. And then look at, if you're looking through educational programs that you're interested in now, what kind of requirements are they looking for? What do they want to see you taking while you're in high school and having exposure to, which is really important. For example, if you're jumping into a college program that needs a higher level of math, they may not offer what we offer in high school. So making sure that you're getting all the assistance and support you can get now is really important for once you get to that program later after high school. All right, you do get recognition for a career pathway, so just making sure you're aware of what those recognitions are. You do get a cord at graduation, like this gold one here, and you are recognized at the senior assembly, so the whole school and parents are invited. You do get to stand and be recognized at the senior assembly, and then as well as our graduation program, those who are in their career pathway also get a notation in the announcements, or the program, excuse me, for graduation. Lastly, we're going to talk about honors diploma. So those of you that are interested in getting that, it does require, down here noted, a 3.3 GPA by the time you graduate. It is a requirement if you want to be the top of your class, valedictorian, or the second highest GPA, salutatorian. So what it means is it's all broken down in the handbook, but it does go over you need 2 advanced specific credits in 5 of these 6 categories. So 5 of the 6, you need advanced English language arts, social studies, math, world language, science, and there's a whole list of advanced electives. So you need 2 credits in 5 of those 6 categories. It's something you can start working on intentionally, more so that sophomore year. So those of you that are rising 10th graders, and those of you that are taking advanced biology, that does count. That's one of our only freshman classes that does count. So just know that you might be already working toward that track, and we can talk about that individually with you as we are forecasting, because you will have individual meetings with Jensen and Sauce as we work through this forecasting process. So everybody will turn their materials in. We'll follow up. Okay, so use this next week to be thinking through, whoever's at home with you, making sure you're going over your transcript and what you might be interested in. You may have had different course content last trimester versus this trimester. It's okay to go back and check in with those teachers and ask for their thoughts and consultation. So please, we encourage you, please do that. They want to talk to you, so go ask their opinions. And then again, if you need sign-offs, you can start doing that. And then next week, we'll walk through more clearly the completion of the actual forecasting sheet, what that looks like. So that's coming next week. So again, in your email, you'll have the link to the handbook. That's your starting point. We're just looking through the planning processes. And again, I highly encourage you to use pencil in this process as we're working through this draft and making sure that it's prioritized, especially in your alternates section. But we'll go through that again next week. So we're kicking it off, getting ready for next year. I want to be really intentional about what we're looking at, which makes sense for you. Okay. All right. We'll see you again next week. Start that process. And we're excited to start meeting with students and getting ready for the following school year.